7, don't force a connection. If a romantic connection isn't that strong, you don't always look forward to seeing the other person, or you find that the affection is definitely one-sided, either you like your prospective partner a lot more than they like you or vice versa, then it may be time to have a genuine conversation with yourself about how you truly feel regarding the connection. One reason why you might find yourself staying in a relationship even though you know the connection isn't strong and won't last is because it's comfortable or because you feel so close to that relationship you imagine yourself having. And sometimes us ladies are tempted to continue to fix a situation even when we know it's over. But if you're always the one initiating dates and conversations, your prospective partner takes an excessively long time to text you back every time, or it feels like he forgets about you or sees you as a low priority in his life, then these could all be signs that the person you're seeing isn't as interested in you as you are in them, and you most definitely deserve to be with someone who truly wants to commit to you. The urge to force a connection could come from meeting someone who is perfect on paper, but your personalities and values just don't really align as much, meeting someone who you're strongly attracted to but doesn't like you back, finding someone who checks all your boxes, or from anxiety around ever finding someone you want to spend the rest of your life with and build a family with. If you have doubts or anxiety around your ability to meet someone great or around trusting that someone for you is out there, you might have past traumas or limiting beliefs holding you back. I unfortunately know people who have a very negative perspective on relationships and don't think that someone for them exists, or they believe that they can't have a fulfilling love story, and the sad irony is that whatever you believe about your romantic journey ends up manifesting into fruition. To overcome these mental hurdles, remember to approach dating with an abundance mindset. Keep the faith that you can achieve a long-term romantic partnership, and remind yourself that relationships with one-sided love usually don't work out in the end. So stepping away from a situation where there aren't mutual feelings is genuinely for the best and helps you find your forever partner sooner. Step 8, take real, tangible action. Step 8 is perhaps the most physically forward move you can make. We have all heard the stories of celebrities in magazines or non-celebrities on social media sharing this magical, whimsical story of how they met their partner. They just walked into a Starbucks one sunny Tuesday morning. They reached for the exact same no sugar added caramel creamer as the love of their life, and boom, a happy relationship was born. Our society also drowns us in romance movies, fairy tales, stories, and films that are designed for entertainment but still end up planting a lingering question into the minds of viewers, leaving them wondering if hoping for a serendipitous meeting is a true key to finding a partner. Single women might find themselves dressing nice for a flight in case they meet their future husband at the airport, or looking at the farmer's market for Mr. Right in case he reaches for the same plump tomato at the same moment that they do. And I'm not saying magical meetings don't exist, because they certainly do, but society nudges women to go through life and just expect that they will meet someone who turns out to be a great romantic partner with just the right amount of time before their biological clock strikes midnight. In reality, we are not guaranteed anything in life, including romantic partnership, but we can make a big difference in our own fate by deciding to claim what is ours for ourselves. There's always this dialogue of people discussing other people's future husbands and wives as if we are all destined to have a happy relationship, because that's just what life entails. Society wants women to believe this guaranteed husband narrative that really just fuels passivity in dating, situationships, settling, toxic partnerships, and ultimately disappointment. One of the best things you can do to create the long-term relationship you desire in your life is to take real action, and the moment to start is now. Being an empowered dater is all about intentionally pursuing the connections you truly desire in your life according to your timeline, not just whatever life offers you. Taking real action in your dating life is one of the best ways you can show up for yourself and for your future kids if you decide to have them. I know there's this lingering question of whether women can make the first move on a man they're interested in, but you don't have to approach a man to make a move, and there are ways you can steer the ship of your romantic journey without stepping outside of your feminine energy. It's all about putting yourself in the position to meet the type of guy you want to meet. You can create a detailed and thoughtful profile on dating apps like Hinge, Bumble, and Tinder. Pay for the premium experience so that you can have the highest chance of meeting your match, and be very intentional about which partners you are swiping on. You could even try The League or Coffee Meets Bagel if you want dating apps offering an upgraded dating experience with more educated and ambitious partners than you're likely to find on Hinge, Bumble, and Tinder. Start going places in person that the kind of partner you hope to meet would go to. Think about your ideal partner. What kind of person are they? Where do they like to hang out at? And then go to the places in your city that seem like the kind of places this person would go to. On the weekends, could they be found at art galleries, museums, and charity events? Are they someone who goes to clubs and bars? Would they be at a dog park, your local gym, or a chic restaurant? If you do try to meet someone in person, find hotspots, churches, groups, organizations, and events in your city that appeal to you and to someone you'd ideally like as a partner, and then go to those spaces alone or with a friend. If you're in a public space alone, it could be awkward, but if you don't bring a group with you, a prospective partner who notices you will probably have an easier time coming up to you than if you were surrounded by a group of all your girls. If you're listening to this show, you're probably serious about your life, you're ambitious, you set goals and take real solid action in your life to achieve success. And now it's time to apply that same intentional mindset and action to dating and relationships. Society is selling women on the dream of magically meeting someone, but when you take the action of showing up to different places, only going on dates with people who meet your standards, and genuinely thinking about the kind of person you want and literally seeking them out, you are showing yourself your commitment to finding a long-term partnership. You are learning more about your preferences, how to successfully find and meet people that align with your standards, and you get to practice walking away from situations where you realize you aren't feeling the connection you'd hope for. Taking real, tangible action is the key, and you may be pleasantly surprised by the outcome. Step 9, adopt high-value traits. Adopting high-value traits is about striving to be your best self, not a toxic cycle of self-improvement or thinking that you're never enough, but in a peaceful acceptance of the fact that we can always upgrade ourselves and our lives at literally every single age and every single stage of life. There's this misguided idea that once you're certain years old or you finish school, you're done growing and improving. But no, self-improvement is a lifelong journey that we should all be partaking in for the rest of our time here. The world is constantly evolving, and adopting high-value traits is part of evolving with it. The purpose of adopting high-value traits is so that you can upgrade yourself so that you enjoy an elevated dating experience. If you're consciously setting goals and working on things in your life, whether that be your health, your finances, developing good eating habits, establishing a morning routine, getting better at walking the dog every day, or meal prepping every weekend, you're going to be less likely to settle for someone who doesn't meet your dating standards and who isn't on the same level as you mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. Some examples of high-value traits you might adopt include increasing your emotional intelligence, investing in self-development, learning productivity hacks, valuing your time, not gossiping or people-pleasing, detaching from toxic people, reducing consumption of negative content online, working on healing mental health issues, developing your business, your talents, your passions, and so much more. Note that you don't need to do all of these things, but consider the lifestyle, habits, and mindsets that your ideal self experiences and actively work to build these ideals into your current life. For instance, if your ideal self has good money management skills and saves for important life goals and events, you might start watching financial literacy tutorials on YouTube or download a personal finance app to hold yourself accountable for your spending habits. Now, there are two very important caveats with step number 9. First, embracing high-value traits is not about toxic sayings like focus on yourself or love yourself first. These statements are toxic because they reaffirm the incorrect idea that you're not good enough yet to receive your desires. There is something that separates you from everyone else who has a happy relationship, and you're somehow not yet worthy of one yet. It dismisses your desires by saying you're the problem, when in reality, you can love and focus on yourself and want to be in a happy, committed relationship at the exact same time. Desiring a romantic partner does not mean that you don't love yourself. The two aren't mutually exclusive. Working on yourself is a lifelong journey that does not end until literally the day we take our very last breath. It is okay to desire, strive for, and as empowered daters to build the relationships we desire to have in our lives. If you've been weighed down by toxic positivity phrases that completely invalidate your totally normal human desires in an attempt to make you feel misguided by wanting something you don't currently have, this is your sign to step into the light and carve a new fulfilling path for yourself. A perfect analogy is income. If someone says that they wish they earned more money, it would be silly for someone else to say that they should focus on making the most of the money they're currently earning, because we obviously know that someone can make the most of their current earnings and still desire to earn more, and who doesn't want to earn more change? Similarly, you can love yourself, work on yourself, and pursue or maintain a long-term romantic relationship if that's something you'd like to have in your life. And the second caveat is that you don't have to be a perfect person to have a great relationship. Adopting high-value traits is not about making yourself into the kind of person who's worthy of a relationship, because we're all worthy of all the things we deserve in life that we believe we're worthy of. And you should believe you're worthy of everything you desire. You can still have bad habits, still not be in the gym as often as you'd like, still not have paid off all your student loan debt, and still be worthy of a happy relationship. With adopting high value traits, you're able to attract people who may offer you an upgraded relationship and lifestyle experience that aligns with what you desire. For example, if you're someone with entrepreneurial ambitions and you start working out daily because you heard wealthy people do that, you're attending business networking events and taking financial literacy courses, you are much more likely to meet someone who is also quite ambitious, and you're less likely to settle for someone who hasn't been developing themselves and their life the way you have. If someone works very hard to become a famous pop star, then it's very likely that they will date other celebrities who hold a relatively similar social status as them and have developed their lives in a similar way. Embodying high-value traits also empowers you to recognize and confidently walk away from dating situations that don't serve you, as you've spent a lot of time building a desirable life for yourself and are less likely to compromise your own values by dating someone who doesn't meet your standards. You'll also feel more confident in your abilities to find and maintain a suitable long-term relationship that you genuinely feel happy and fulfilled in. The final step, step number 10, is to walk away from toxic people. There are so many individuals out there who have been hurt and traumatized in their previous dating experiences, and instead of accepting what happened and moving forward with their lives and healing and forgiving, they stay stuck in negativity and spew it onto other people. Toxic people will attempt to instill their fears and their traumas into you and limit your partnership search, which is the danger of spending too much time absorbing the toxic beliefs of other people. These toxic people can include family, friends, acquaintances, strangers you meet and strike up a conversation with, people you follow on socials, celebrities, influencers, neighbors, colleagues, and more. For example, let's say one of your friends was in a toxic relationship, had a traumatic breakup followed by a series of terrible dating experiences, and now she thinks she'll never be able to find anyone. If your goal is to have a long-term fulfilling romantic relationship, it's time to walk away from people who actively do not believe they can have that. It's just like how when starting a business, it'd be wise to disassociate from people who think entrepreneurship isn't worth pursuing because entrepreneurial ventures never pan out. However, one look at the world around us shows us that entrepreneurship does pan out, as literally every single item we interact with every day was created by an entrepreneur. Similarly, we know love and happy relationships do exist because there are people experiencing both of these blessings right now. Toxic people you may encounter on your dating journey are often hurt or angered by their own dating reality, and instead of changing their circumstances for the better, they spend their time convincing other people that they can't, won't, or shouldn't succeed at meeting their dating and relationship goals. An example of these kinds of toxic people include people who are jealous of other people's relationship success, people who dump their relationship trauma onto you, individuals who want to exert strong influence over the people you choose to date. For instance, you may be part of a racial or religious community where other members aim to persuade or dissuade you from dating certain people, people who judge you or question your dating choices, and people who have a scarcity mindset around dating, meaning they don't think that many good dating prospects still exist. A little bit ago, I was listening to a Girl Chat Business podcast, and I distinctly remember hearing the story of one woman who was a guest on the podcast. She was explaining that she's Jewish, she was very involved in her Jewish community, and whenever she dated someone who wasn't Jewish, her family and her community would always make her feel bad, but when she dated someone who was Jewish, everyone was happy and proud of her. Her friends had been getting married, and people kept asking her if she was going to marry the Jewish guy she was currently dating. Everyone loved him and said he was such a great guy, and the woman loved him too, and so she married him. But then, like a year into their marriage, she woke up one night and told her husband she wanted a divorce. She realized that she only married this man because her family and her Jewish community were enthusiastic about the relationship because the guy was Jewish, he was great on paper, he was a good man, and he got along with the woman well. What really struck me was the woman literally waking up and noticing she had structured her entire partnership search around other people's opinions and influences to the point that she ended up marrying a man she realized she wasn't even in love with. I know none of you guys want to end up in that situation, and this is why it is so important to send messages of dating empowerment to women, because the consequences of not being empowered daters often include highly undesirable situations that can have a very negative impact on your mental health and overall well-being. So when you're on your dating journey, trust yourself, put you and your partner's desires first, and stray away from toxic influences. Instead, surround yourself with supportive and encouraging people, an abundance mindset, uplifting beliefs, and empowering content like this podcast. As always, towards the end of every episode, I leave you with a big pink question, which is a powerful reflection prompt to help you practically apply sentiments from today's episode directly into your dating and relationship life in a transformative way. This week's question is, which of these steps have you not been doing that you are the most eager to implement into your dating journey? Wishing you so much love and positivity, and I'll see you same time next week.